Talk to me about New South Wales Labor leader Jodi McKay. She's under pressure to step aside. It's all about this letter of support she wrote for a convicted paedophile. Is she going to fall on her sword? Is that the end outcome? Can you see her surviving this? And if she goes, who will replace her, Mark Latham?
Well, it's untenable that you can be trying to become the Premier of New South Wales when you've written a letter of support to keep a convicted paedophile in the country, defying attempts to deport the bastard, which is what should have been happening. So, you know, she's come up with this crazy alibi that she's done nothing wrong. She signed the document not knowing how it was going to be used, where it was going and what it really meant. Well, if you're so stupid and naive, and at the end of the day you're lending succour to a convicted paedophile, you've got no chance of ever becoming the Premier of New South Wales. So she's quite selfish not to have resigned already. Her party will have to get rid of her, and the logical replacement is someone who we see on Alan Jones's show on a Wednesday night, Chris Minns, who lost the leadership ballot to her unfairly. He's much more talented and would make a more effective Labor leader in this state.
You got to wonder why these politicians, I can count a whole handful of them that have lost their jobs over these references they write for dodgy characters, but they keep doing it. In this case, he wasn't even an Australian citizen. I want to get this story in Melbourne.
She hadn't met him. The other thing is she hadn't met him. I mean, if you're going to do these letters, at least meet the person, make a judgment about their character and know something about their background instead of just signing off, effectively signing off her political career.
Oh, well, the first move was dumb. The second, not even meeting him, was absolutely stupid and should go on that accord. Talk to me about these 3 woke councils in Melbourne. This is in the inner city. They're running these training courses funded by ratepayers, I might add, to teach people, train people up for climate change protesting. It's the Yarra Council, it's Moreland and it's Darebin. I mean, these are the same ones that don't want their Australia Day ceremonies and all the other stuff. They've all declared a climate emergency. They're all joined forces. They want to run these 9-session programs in April to mobilise and engage on climate change. I mean, this is extraordinary.
Well, it is. You know, they could save ratepayers' money. Just show them the Greta Thunberg videos. How dare you? How dare you? You know, hectoring angry 14-year-old. That'd be their cup of tea. But maybe we can train some of the ratepayers on finding the solution, because normally these climate protesters lie down on the road, and the ratepayers could perhaps hire a steamroller to finish them off and sort it out.
Well, how about they just pick up the rubbish?
Well, pick up.
I suspect many of them don't have a job. Yeah. How about we hire them to pick up some rubbish?
Well, look, it's farcical. These count. Like, you have to be a complete state of delusion. Like, it's bad enough we've got federal and state politicians in this country who think they're going to save the planet through climate action, so-called climate action in Australia. But when you get down to local government level, declaring a climate emergency, you think that in an area to do with local libraries, childcare centres and roads and rates and rubbish, that somehow you're saving the planet. I mean, these people are in need of psychiatric assistance.
Hey, just a quick comment. Like, I started the show with a business leader who has been absolutely king hit by these lockdowns. There's a lot of restaurants in Melbourne in the same boat, in fact, right across the state. And I'm just reading the news that's coming in now that the crowds are back at the tennis as of tomorrow. So these businesses have all lost millions. We've gone through 5 days of lockdown in this state for all of, 19 cases, and it's all back to the tennis as normal tomorrow.
Well, it just seems incongruous, doesn't it, that the unemployment consequences and the health consequences of the lockdown and recession is going to be a lot worse than the virus itself. And the overreactions, whether we're talking about Brisbane, Perth, the lockdown in Melbourne, unfortunately, Peter, we're in an environment where these Labor premiers have got polling research saying if you put fear into people and you lock down and you give the impression you're saving their life, somehow that's popular. It's a warped kind of politics. It'll have a long-term cost to the economy, but that's what these people are doing.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. It's terrible to fight back. Mark Latham, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Peter.